First ever championship meeting between the sides. Down were facing a third game in 3 weeks. For Connacht champions Mayo, it was just a third championship match all year. Watching this one were Tony Davis and Ger Canning.
Cillian O'Connor, young footballer of the year last year. Aidan O'Shea, good to see him back. Down to Conroy, that was precisely aimed into the corner. There's a lot of work to do for Conroy from here. The marker is Darren O'Hagan, the other marker is Niall McFarlane, number 5. Alan Dillon, sweetly in as far as Andy Moran, beautifully transferred. Here's an opportunity and it's buried in the back of the net. Jason Doherty, his first ever goal in championship football comes in the 5th minute, and that is some introduction. Beautifully constructed move. Doherty took off and let fly. Here's Carr, McGinn. Want from McCartan to try and contain. It comes instead to Conor Laverty. He's one player who can inspire Down's attack, and that time it's Aidan Carr who comes up and gets his second point of the match, keeping Down in touch. That goal by Jason Doherty after 5 minutes on the scoreboard, at least the only thing between the teams. Kevin McKernan sending it long. They wait for the bounce, and the bounce deceived Ger Cafferty. And it's Benny Coulter. Got a goal and 2 points last week. Back in it comes from Laverty, trying to feed it back in. Colm King! Colm King has got his first ever championship goal. And the teams are tied up at a goal and 2 to a goal and 2. The most unlikely of goal scorers in the 16th minute.
Yes, well, it was created by Lafferty and Coulter, two fantastic football brains. What does he do? On his left leg, keeps it low into the back of the net again. But these two forwards, Benny Coulter and Conor Laverty, are a handful for any team.
Down into open space, that's good running. Terrific play here by Alan Dillon. Ready to counter-attack with some pace. Throwing shapes and then getting inside. Good-looking movement. Jason Doherty playing it outside, and Cillian O'Connor lets fly, and it comes back to Conroy, and Conroy puts it over the bar. Michael Conroy marks his return to Croke Park with a point here, which puts Mayo back in front again by 1-4 to 1-3. Kevin McLaughlin inevitably pushing forward. And he's got a free man here, and it's Conroy, and he's got another goal at Croke Park, just like he did in 2004 in that year's All-Ireland final.
Kevin McLaughlin runs at the down defence, as we mentioned already. They open like the Red Sea, and again low and hard into the back. Very good finish, but they are very vulnerable at the back.
Now will be well aware that they've got to take every opportunity presented in this game. They're ahead by 4 points at this stage. Minute to go to half-time. From this free, 20 metres out, slightly at an angle, as you can see, and absolutely perfect. 3 minutes of the first half. So Cillian O'Connor from here, a right-footed kicker could hardly miss from that angle, and so it looks really good heading into the half-time break. 2-7 to 1-4.
And with me here in studio, it's been an interesting first half, Kieran. Plenty of goals, plenty of scores, and Mayo on top.
It's been entertaining. You have two teams, I suppose, that are going out. They're not playing defensive football, really. They're going for it. It's been scrappy in parts, but Mayo will probably be disappointed they don't have a bigger lead. They've dominated possession. They've had a platform around the middle of the park. You know, they've kicked 6 wides. They've dropped 2 balls short into the keeper's hands. Their inside forward line is playing well. When they're shown first time for the ball and they're getting early ball in, they are doing damage. Down defensively are all over the place, and at times they're getting 10-11 men back there and they're doing nothing constructive whatsoever. Mayo have opened them up time and time again, and as I said, they could be further ahead. You know, you've got the likes of Alan Dillon, who's been given the freedom of the park. You know, they brought in Aidan Brannigan to try tie him down, and he's pulling the strings from out around the middle of the park. And you know, Mayo, I think Down will be happy that they're still within 5 or 6 points, but Mayo were certainly in control of much of that first half.
Down left wing, Pat, they've been leaving gaps down that side of it there, wider than the gap done low.
Yeah, it's been an interesting and enjoyable game, but it's a bit like going to a Jedward concert. It's lacking in quality, and any bit of quality that's there is coming from Mayo, because once upon a time Down teams came to Croke Park, and they came to Croke Park with a swagger and an
for Cillian O'Connor to add to the 4-pointed freeze he put over in the first half. Maybe not absolutely ideal for a right-footed kicker kicking from the hand here, from that angle, but it's still something he should be able to do, I think, for a player of his quality. And he's made it. Mark Poland kicking it in long, very, very long towards Benny Coulter, sun in his eyes. Comes back down here, and there's a high challenge there by Donald Vaughan. And Liam Doyle being a left-footed free taker. And Liam Doyle makes sure that with his first kick of this match, he finds the from more or less the same position right at the start of the second half. And this one has gone inside, trying to exert an influence, and the ball has been brought forward an extra 13 metres, free taken by Aidan Carr. Down in a bit of a hurry, but only 5 minutes or under that gone in the second half. Benny Coulter trying to turn Ger Cafferty, drew the foul. Laverty takes it quickly. O'Hare, Mayo on their toes, back out towards Benny Coulter, and that one has gone over the bar. And Benny Coulter gets his first point of this match, and the Down fans would like to think there is a big, big fight back in their team. 2-9-2-1-6. But it's as you were at half-time, 6 points to be bridged by the Ulster team.
Yeah, and that's the first score from what I would call the big three: Mark Poland, Conor Laverty, or Brendan Coulter in there in the full forward.
For him, nice little break on it here off to Keith Higgins. There's a man in space alongside him, it's Cillian O'Connor. Dished off quickly here to Andy Moran. Moran, in the end, swung around the freeze, very quickly taken. And it's in. And Michael Conroy is in at the end of it. And he's got a second goal. 8 minutes into the second half. What a return this is. The free was very, very quickly taken and played in here as far as Michael Conroy, who was just outside the large square when the pass was delivered. Even though it's a new rule, it has to, or an amendment of the rule, it has to be delivered, that pass, by Cillian O'Connor.
I must say it was very quick thinking by the Mayo forwards yet again. Quick ball in, definitely a legal goal, and the referee made 2 big calls before.
It's worth trying out, that's for sure, for a more prolonged period. Aidan Carr, high up into the air, he's got enough accuracy on it, and it's his first point of the second half. Mayo will feel this match is there for the losing at this stage, as Aidan Brannigan tries to come out here, but he's charged. And the Kilcoo man has given it away to Mayo, who take that free kick through. Lee Keegan, all the way down as far as Cillian O'Connor. Swiftly back in here again as far as Alan Dillon, and that is a smashing score. Point in each half for Alan Dillon. Well, he's seen the ups and the downs of Mayo football. Give them an option with that left foot of his of being able to take free kicks. He's not on today, however. Liam Doyle back there. His team 9 behind. They need a goal. They need the next few scores. Mark Poland needs to get them going. They need to show more energy, more determination than ever before. Been frustrated by Mayo up to now as Dan Gordon kicks it high. It's drifting away from goal. Benny Coulter going for it. It comes off Cafferty.
He put his hand up and called for assistance.
Well, I'm not sure whether or not he was involved in any piece of play, whether he got injured. Let's see here, he's up against Liam Doyle, and there he turned. Is it the knee? It is the knee, is it?
It looks like his knee, and as far as I know, he had problem with his knee before, and he's only after recovering from that, and he's been magnificent for Mayo on the full forward line all this year.
He actually broke his leg, Tony, in training with the international rules last autumn, and then made a great recovery. And I just sincerely hope, from his point of view and from Mayo's point of view, that he is okay.
Expected to get through Connacht, and I suppose their training schedule and all their fitness programs and everything would have gone to this stage. That have said, okay, we'll get to the quarter-final and we'll try and peak to some bit at this stage. And for Andy Moore to get injured and on goal, it would be absolute desperate for him.
Well, as we've already mentioned, it's Alan Freeman who's going to come on. Alan, who's a student here in Dublin. That's a huge leap in the air there by Barry Moran. And there's David Clark. So a fairly easy time of it so far, apart from one very good save that he made right at the very beginning of the match from Conor Laverty. Here's Aidan Carr. 3 men inside to aim at. Laverty tries to get a touch on it here, but he can't get a piece of the action because of the commanding figure of Donald Vaughan. Out here as far as Kevin McLaughlin. Threaded through once again towards Vaughan. This is Freeman, first touch. He'll be delighted to be involved in there. One of his 3 goals was scored against Galway in last year's championship football, that is. Lee Keegan advancing, a chance to put this one over the bar. First point for him in this game. Everything's going really nicely. 3rd point of this year's championship for the 22-year-old from Westport, and now it's 3-11 to 1. Dad Ross, of course, was a fabulous free taker as well, but he kicked with the left. It's the 20-metre line, but the distance, what, about 25 metres? Good kick. 6 for him. And O'Hagan fists it out beyond Rogers, out as far as Aidan Carr, left behind there to Aidan O'Shea. Slipped back in towards Colin Boyle, nicely back in here to Barry Moran. Blocked initially, tossed it back towards Aidan O'Shea, and Aidan O'Shea, who's made a very complete recovery from injury, comes back and announces himself in the starting 15 with his first point. And they had an embarrassment of players waiting to take a pass there. Any one of 3 or 4 could have kicked it over the bar.
Yes, they could, but I suppose it's significant watching Mayo driving on like this because injured.
We could have Mayo's Enda Varley on in a moment here as Donald Vaughan advances. Got his first championship points ever against Kerry last year. That time he lays it off to Alan Dillon, who, like a golfer, looks to see where it goes. It avoided the bunkers and it went straight over the bar. He's got 3 points in this match, and Mayo are now cruising into the semi-finals of the All-Ireland Football Championship. A lot of work here for Donald Vaughan to hold on to it. Well, they've shown commendable commitment to this challenge all the way through, Mayo. And it's McLaughlin now, and McLaughlin boots it high and over. That could possibly go wrong, has gone wrong. Mayo very much in the ascendancy. The only blot on the landscape for them has been the injury to Andy Moore and their captain. This is in here as far as Cillian O'Connor, pursued vigorously by his man Darren O'Hagan, but he still gets enough space and room to boot it over. And now Cillian O'Connor has got 7 points, 1 from play here. This is the product of hard work, just stuck to the task and doggedly put it over the bar. Brendan McVeigh has been much the busier of the 2 goalkeepers, kicking the ball back into play as he waits, because driving it away down into the corner for Enda Varley to go chasing after. And he gets the rub of the green here. Player calling for it inside is Cillian O'Connor, waiting for the pass to come his way. In the end, I think Enda Varley decided tenacity, their wonderful football, their indomitable spirit, and there is a man who won man of the match, getting another late score. Alan Dillon, that's his 4th.
Yeah, he's had a terrific game. I suppose half forwards nowadays they go back, they work hard, they win breaks off midfield, they try and prevent the other team from attacking, but he scores as well, gets everything right.
Well, it's like Mayo are in a different class here. A lot was being spoken of in the build-up to the quarterfinals, that the teams were essentially Division 1 teams. It's a big ball in there, which is knocked away by David Clark.
I suppose the thing for Mayo is to do it consistently, to come back the next day and have a consistent level of performance with their yes, and that was a big surprise.
Liam Doyle storming in, trying to steal it in, and in the end it is kicked into the back of the net. And the lurking player was Benny Coulter, I think, but just have to double check on that.
I think you're right, Jared. It was Benny. He kind of apologetically swung his leg at it and said, here, take that. Game over. That's 71 minutes gone. Very disappointing for them in the full forward line. Himself and Conor Laverty tried really hard, but they got no change from the Mayo full back line.
Amazingly, that's his 21st championship goal. And it's back again here with Jason Gibbons. Big, tall, rangy midfielder. Chris Barrett had just gone ahead of him here, another one of the subs. Alan Dillon pulling the strings. McLaughlin, having missed a few moments ago, is determined he's not going to miss again.
I really think, Jerry, you should be punished for a foul like that. I know you're preventing them from getting a goal and coming back, but it's hugely disruptive, and it is cynical, pure cynical football.
Well, the remaining 40 seconds anyway, and it's just academic at this point anyway, with Mayo so far ahead. Aidan Carr let fly.
Mayo through to the All-Ireland semi-finals against the winner of the second match here tonight. One big blow to Mayo, that injury to Andy Moran, their captain, their influential player. He could be missing that semi-final.
Comes with a cost, Michael, and it's highly likely he will miss the semi-final. Massive blow to them, and the injury, the leg just seemed to buckle from under him. There was no contact at all, so he is the leader of that forward line, and he's shown great leadership the last couple of years. Massive blow to them, and I think, you know, we see it here now. He's tackling back, and you know, just gets caught on the ground. And
he holds his right knee, so please God, for his own sake, that it isn't the dreaded cruciate ligament injury, but it looks serious. And he is a great player. You know, he shows for the ball great. He has great brain, great vision, great distributor of the ball, a great forward.
Pat, Mayo got a goal in the second half. Michael Conroy, they were 6 points up. This finished the game. But I'd just like to have a look at this again, because the question is, did Michael throw the ball into the net? Well,
it was a bit like a carbon copy of the goal that Monaghan scored, remember, against them in the thing, a quick free. And again, it goes back to the sleepy defence of you know, they were caught napping, fella standing around, fella free inside, and he hand passed it over to Michael Conroy. Did Michael Conroy, for a split second, hold the ball in his hand? I genuinely believe he did. I don't look. He actually caught it and threw it in. So was it a legit goal? No, I think it should have been probably a free out. But look, it was only going to delay the inevitable anyway, because for a split second, that ball was in his possession. So that means he threw it in.
We wanted the races today. We were beaten in too many positions, if not maybe them all, and you know, we only played in fits and starts, and have to hold our hands up. Mayo were far a stronger team all over the field, and they wanted a counter at the end.
We knew we were going okay, like, you know, played Leitrim and Sligo in the kind of final, which was a good tight battle, you know, but we got through it. So, you know, just getting into Croke Park, you don't know what to expect, and, you know, kind of opened it up there today, and it was great. You know, great to get the win was the main thing. That's all we were looking for, just put in performance and get the win.
So, Mayo easing through to the last four. They then awaited the winners of Dublin and Laois, and that is coming up later. Dick Clark, and a lot of people going into this game were wondering actually how it might work out, thought it could be close, mainly because they thought Mayo might be a little bit cold from the layoff. No fear of that?
No, you know, I suppose Mayo over the years have brought the hot and cold when they got to this stage of the All-Ireland series. But I suppose if you look back to the game against Cork last year, sort of replicated that style of play against Mayo on Saturday evening. You know, they drove at them from every angle. You know, the likes of Keith Higgins from the back driving forward, Kevin McLaughlin, and they supported well, which they done against Cork, and that's what sort of served them well and beat Cork last year. Now, unfortunately, they reverted to type maybe against Kerry and didn't push forward. So I'll say they learn a lot from that, and you know, if they're going to progress again, progress by Dublin, they'll have to stick to that system.
They played well, they looked impressive, and one thing, Kieran, I think that was quite impressive about them was their support play up and down the field. This isn't just the old big boxy defence kind of stuff. They work up and down the